Lunden Roberts is joining us now. Lunden, great to have you back on. Good to see you again.
Hi, yeah, it's good to see you.
So you and Hunter agreed to give your daughter some paintings as a form of child support and as a way of bonding with Navy. But in your motion, you said, quote, suddenly and without warning or explanation, Mr. Biden ghosted sweet little Navy, who recently experienced emotional trauma at a family wedding when she realized that her dad would not be there to walk her down the aisle or dance with her one day when she gets married. What do you think changed with Hunter? What went wrong here?
I wrote a book, and he has not spoke to Navy because of that. And I think it's, mom's fault, dad's fault, whoever's fault it is. You don't make promises to a child and then not hold yourself accountable for that. And it's not something I want to do, is go back to court and have to go through this stuff again. But it's kind of like the court documents say, there's emotional stress and stuff put on this child, and all she does is love her father.
Yeah.
And the paintings were his idea. That was all his idea, to talk to her once a month and bond with her and be able to develop that relationship with her. And then I wrote a book sometime last year, and since then he has ghosted her. But it's not as if I want that communication with him. It's Navy that wants that communication with him.
Of course, as any daughter would. Hunter's attorney responded to this motion. This was today, Lunden. Here's the court filing. Here's the quote. Any failure to communicate with the child is not punishable by contempt, as the order does not order the defendant to communicate with the child, which is just a really bizarre thing for any attorney to put together. But how do you respond to that?
It is. It's bizarre for any father to allow that as well. But,
right.
I'm pretty for sure it was in the documents back during our settlement that Navy gets to choose one painting, and like a month or for however many months, and she's not chose one. He sent 8 or 12 paintings. I'm not real sure. He sent her a few paintings, but she didn't get to choose those. And the court documents, I believe, say for her to choose those paintings, and that was the way that they would bond.
Joe Biden is 83 years old now. You know he's got terminal cancer. Has he made any effort to reach out to his granddaughter?
No, he has not.
Jill Biden, anyone from the family?
Nobody in the family has made any effort, and which is fine. Navy is loved, and if that's the type of people that they want to be, then, then they're the ones that have to deal with that when they lay their head on the pillow at night. But what I won't allow is promises to be made and not be fulfilled for my daughter's sake.
Yeah,
because our agreement, our settlement, there were lots of sacrifices that Navy and I sacrificed for him to want this certain agreement. And then he's not going to live up to that agreement because of a book is just beyond me.
Okay. And one day Joe Biden will be dead and gone, and Navy will be grown up, and she'll know that her grandfather, a former U.S. president, didn't think about her enough to ever want to reach out and introduce himself, right. Which I think is sad and says a lot about this family, the Bidens. You also said in your motion, and this is heartbreaking, Navy can't wait to go to heaven, and she can't wait to be with her dad because her dad doesn't talk to her, so Navy wants to go to heaven. She's almost 8 years old now. What's that like as a mom trying to navigate this?
It's gotten a lot harder because, when she was younger and she wanted to know who her father is, I could tell her and just tell her that he lived far away and he was busy, and those excuses went a long way. But now, she's older and she's becoming more intellectual, and her conversations, her questions are everywhere. And so she's got a lot of questions, and a lot of times they are hard to answer. And there was one conversation after my cousin's wedding when I realized why she was acting the way that she was acting, and she became real emotional and told me, that no one would be there to dance with her at her wedding. And I talked to her and I started getting emotional. And her first response was, "Mom, why are you crying? Please don't be mad at him. Are you crying happy tears? Are you crying sad tears?" And I said, "No, I'm hurt for you." I said, "Because you don't deserve this."
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry, that you have to go through this and experience these emotions, but I blame myself for that, and I'm so sorry. And she's like, "No, Mama, please don't be mad at him. It's not his fault. He's busy and he lives far away." And she's throwing those excuses that I had made for him for so long. And it's just, communication and stuff it's fine. Just do what you said you were going to do.
Can I just ask you, what do you think about Hunter Biden today?
Dealing with what I've had to deal with, my feelings have drastically changed. I wanted to give grace, and I've always tried to be support. I supported the pardon. You know, it's like any father would want to, if they were sitting in that office and was able to pardon their son, you know, why wouldn't they? That is the love of a father. But I've not seen that love of a father from him for Navy. And so, like I said, you know, this isn't about me wanting relevance. A lot of people are kind of taking these court documents and twisting them into, oh, she wants her daughter to spend time with Hunter, or she's begging Hunter for this. Or no, I'm not. I'm asking you to do what you said you were going to do, and I'll leave you alone.
Yeah. Lunden Roberts, we wish you the very best. We appreciate you being back with us. Good luck to you, and keep us posted. Thank you.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.